there. Thing I heard. Reach out to would love to make it. Peanut. That's my number one.
Greetings, Gunslinger Posse, and welcome to Branded for January 12th, 22nd, 2025. Ralph Judkins here, along with Coach.
And there we go.
The
intro was a little choppy too.
But they can hear us. The intro was choppy. Audio.
The video was choppy. It's okay.
Uh,
Hey, they're used to it by now, Ralph.
I don't want them to be used to it. I want them to be used to a higher standard. Absolutely. And we're going to get there. We just keep changing stuff up and it's killing me. And Alex Schuberth, Dustin Jackson joining. So, Coach, anything before we get started on our show? He's Tom Manas, head coach, general manager. I'm Ralph Judkins, your host. Doing a show all about the gunslingers of the IFL. Like, subscribe, comment, and man, everybody's chiming in right now, letting us know that they're here. That's a good start because it's a really big show.
Yeah, that's a lot of words. We got two special guests on tonight, which I'm really excited about. We have the newest owner for 2026 coming on board, who's going to tell us all about his franchise. And then we have one of the co-owners of the new video service that we're going to be using for the IFL is going to be using for game day capture. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think we're going to really give the fans an insight on a lot of stuff that they wouldn't normally have. That's what they get for sending me to the owners meeting. What can I tell you?
And that's what you get for tuning into Branded. We are the off-season show of the IFL. Commissioner was on here, and everybody's on here. Heck, we got New Mexico on here. We even named the show after him. All right, we'll be back with the first quarter when we return. You're watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital.
I don't know what you're doing today. I'm filling my calendar. 8 home games here in San Antonio with your gunslingers. Come on out and support. Just call the number below. I'll see you there.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers in South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where precision meets performance.
Dependability. It's expected by our customers, and it's demanded by me. I personally guarantee the certified techs we send to your home and the equipment we install are dependable. John Wayne's American Pride comfort systems are designed specifically for San Antonio's extreme heat and humidity and come with a lifetime warranty. For comfort you can depend on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
And welcome back to Branded as we kick off our first quarter here. And down here in South Texas, Coach, in case you haven't heard, because, man, Texas likes to complain a lot about it, we are in Texas winter right now. That's about a 9-day stretch where occasionally things are cold and we complain a lot and open up warming centers in the city and close schools. What's it like up in Michigan right now?
Well, your weather's like our summer right now. Now we have I think yesterday was a high of 3 and today a 5, a little bit of snow in between. I got all the deer hanging out in my backyard now eating acorns. So yeah, it's we're kind of used to this the end of January and the first couple weeks of February. It's going to be like this. But yeah, I told you a little story about my nightmare with the San Antonio winter one time. So yeah. I don't know if you want me to share that or not, but
This is why we call it the Coaches Show, because we're
okay.
trying to
Well,
learn things about the coach.
in 1985, 84, I got released from the Detroit Lions, and I got a phone call. You all know that story, to head to San Antonio, and I was going to be a gunslinger. And I was a little inebriated that afternoon from finding out I just got released. And me and Eric Kipple, the quarterback for the Lions at the time. And anyway, middle of the night, my God love my pop, God rest his soul, he jumped in my car and we drove down straight to San Antonio from Detroit. I had to be at practice in about 48 hours, and I think I slept till St. Louis. And then when I woke up, I took over. But we got when we were coming in town, it was like the weather you had yesterday or the day before with the ice and the whatever they call that in Texas. And back then, they put sand on the highway when we were coming into Texas. And, when you're on the highway, all the semis are flying by and whatever. I had a Porsche at the time, and beautiful Gemini gray Porsche, and it got sandblasted. And by the time we got to the facility, three-quarters of my car was down to primer. And I kid you not. And quite the nightmare. And
this is in the 80s. You probably had the sports bra around the headlights to protect.
No, I didn't. I didn't have the sports bra because I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be. It's not like it is today where you check your phone. Hey, what's the weather going to be like going down? You just kind of winged it, and no cell phones, no nothing. You didn't have a choice. And once the first little grain of sand hit your car, there's nothing you could do about it. So got the car repainted and sold it. So yeah. But yeah, it's just funny how, different parts of the country react differently. Like you guys have closed schools and all that, matter of fact, today they closed the schools here in Michigan because of the cold, and they didn't want the kids waiting at the bus stops and doing that kind of thing. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Wind chill minus 22, it'll kill kids. You don't want,
I let coach out, and coach takes 2 steps onto the deck.
He looks at you.
And then he pees right there on the deck, and then he comes back in. No, he's getting used to it. He's getting used to it. He was out there today for a good 5-10 minutes. He had enough, and he came in and warmed him up. And yeah, but no, it's typical. That's, wintertime. Last season when I was there, I didn't know the drip rule, where you take your faucet and you have it drip.
Right.
And I woke up one morning, I called Marshall. I said, I don't have water. And sure enough, it had frozen and he fixed it. But then I started to learn that I would watch the weather when it got below freezing, do the little drip drill. And I guess that's a Texas thing. So.
Yep. We have quirks down here. Absolutely quirks down here. Stig, moving a little back in your direction, did you want to take a moment and make a comment on the Lions' loss?
No, they just played like garbage.
Okay.
I mean, it was poor coaching. It was poor performance. It was, not protecting the football. They deserved to lose 100%. If they'd have pulled that one off and won, it would have been not right. Because, you want the best teams to move forward, and they were not the best team. It's hard for me to say that, but separating myself from fan to football coach, it just wasn't pretty. There was nothing pretty about it. They just did not play. And it's a shame because they sold out the place, and it was just, Yeah, I see it, Tina. Go Commanders. And your son hit me up. We're betting during the game, and I had to buy him a custom fit hat. Around the fourth quarter with about 4 minutes left, I put the order in. So, yeah, DJ won a hat off me. We bet a hat. And I saw something earlier on here when, you know what, because we have a fair weather friend. Where is he? Dustin Jackson. Greetings from the national champion Arizona Rattlers. And then 4 comments down. Go Gunslingers. Dustin, you know we both play in the West, right? Pick one. Pick wisely, my friend. I love the fact that he's a fan of both teams because he's a fan of the IFL in general. So I'm just pulling his leg.
And he is really, really, really going to love what we have as far as guests tonight, because you are going to learn an awful lot tonight, Dustin, about the future of the league, the future in the West, and what a big deal this next generation is going to be. Let's close out the first quarter so we can get to it. Wanted to mention 2 things. The 6 shooters finished their camp and picked their roster. And that was
congratulations, ladies.
Yep, that was awesome. And we also signed Tyrone Prescott. Did I say that right? Prescott?
Yeah, a hell of a football player. Just an absolute giant of a guy. And he's 6'5", 325. Played in the UFL last year. Great athlete. He's going to be a huge help for us on the offensive line. Some of you have probably seen that we filed the official release of Sam Castronova. He signed with Albany anyway, so it really didn't matter. But I needed the room on the roster. I wish him the best of luck in his future. And we also released Isaiah Hardy, who was a starter for us last year. But Isaiah needs to be closer to home. He's got some family responsibilities he's got to take care of. And our mantra is God, family, and football in that order. So, he was trying to make it work. I just told him, I kind of said, hey, you don't have to worry about it. Do what you need to do for your family right now, and then we'll go from there. And then 2 days later, we signed our new guy. So everything's good. Things work out. When you're put good stuff out, good stuff comes back.
All right, we ready to move on to the second quarter, Coach, and bring on Mike Fietz of speaking of the Commanders, the New Mexico football team. We'll find out in just a bit when we return. You are watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital.
Reputation. It defines us. How we treat the customer contributes to our reputation. It's doing the right thing every time and never cutting corners. John Wayne's customers have rewarded us with over 15,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating with the BBB. And for that, we thank you. John Wayne Service Company, our reputation is in every truck.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
For generations, the family recipes at Carrabba's Italian Grill have been bringing people together. From the sweet smell of our scratch-made sauce to our rich layers of lasagna, we believe food made with love leads to tables filled with laughter. Dine with us or order out at carrabbas.com.
Hey, did I get your attention? Time to buy those season tickets. 8 home games this year. Call the number below. I'll see you there.
And welcome back to the second quarter of Branded as we bring to the stage one of the 2 new owners of the Duke City Gladiators, Michael Fietz. Welcome to Branded, Michael.
Michael,
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on tonight.
how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Coach. Doing great.
Good. I see you got a little one with you.
I do. I do.
Uh-oh, froze up a little bit.
Our junior gladiators that we're heading to Arizona this weekend to compete in a national tournament. So
Nice.
my son,
Fantastic.
Landry Fietz. Landry, say hi.
How you doing, buddy? Now, Mike, I wanted to, do you like going by Mike or Michael?
You know, when I'm in trouble with my mother, it's Michael. So I prefer Mike.
Yeah, I get the Thomas or Tom. Yeah, I used to get that too.
Uh-huh.
So, Mike, let me ask you, first of all, is it the Duke City Gladiators, or are we still open to what that's going to be?
We are currently the Duke City Gladiators, but I think the New Mexico football team is probably appropriate, as Ralph has said. You know, we're taking a year off. There's a lot to it, and as I mentioned, I had the pleasure of sitting next to you for a day and a half at league meetings, and really enjoyed sidebar conversations with you the whole time. But it's a lot, and
it is a lot.
And you holding doing both the GM job and the coaching job. I can promise you I will not be doing the coaching job. We'll find somebody who can do that. Thanks, James. Appreciate it, bud. We're excited to be part of the IFL, and but it's a lot, and we've got about 380 days until we hit camp. So
and that's crazy how you already know that number, because it's going to fly by. It is absolutely going to fly by, right? And you know, I know the fans, you know, I know the players. A lot of those players that played for Duke City last year. You know, we've talked to a few of them, and actually signed one or two of them. And the thing about it is that it was a strategically placed team. You know, you couldn't ask for a better market. You really couldn't. And the thing about that is that the fact that you're coming back and we have that market back, it's kind of that buffer between us and Arizona. You know what I'm saying? It's not like if we're going to go west, all we're going to play is Arizona, or then we got to go northwest, you know, to play the others. With you, it's kind of like the old west. You know, now we got Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona going at it. So,
well, Coach.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's fantastic. It makes sense from a league level. I know the previous owners did everything that they could. And I'd like to say to Gina, my deepest condolences to her. She just lost her husband. She was a special lady in the league. And we're just want to offer our prayers to her right now, going through that tough time. That's bigger than football, right? So, Mike, tell us, you're one of two people that are going to own the team, correct?
That is correct. I have a partner, Bob Petrie, who's actually grew up in the car business. Well, it's special to you. He was born in his younger years in Detroit.
See, there you go. Yeah.
Yep. His family moved out to Arizona, and his dad had car dealerships out in Arizona. They're actually part owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he and I are partners in this venture, and
wow.
He has I guess given me the reins or said put me out with the wolves. But
Michael, here's the thing. Here's the thing when they do that, because I always get that wherever I go, right? You're the first one through the door on most things, so you're going to get a bloody nose. Right.
No doubt.
But the nice thing about it is you're the tip of the spear. Right.
Yes, no question.
So whatever you got to do, it's like I always say, you know, I'm not always right, but I think with the effort that you guys are going to put into this, the marketing you're going to put into this, the promotion you're going to put into this, you're not only talking about, you know, one part of the town. You're talking about, you want to be the state's team, right? You want to be the New Mexico franchise.
I think so. And, you know, we're, you know, this, we get a bad rap in New Mexico about a lot of things, and we all stick together. And it's again, we're going to look kind of at all options on rebranding, where we're going to play, the venues. We've got to look at all of that. Like I said, there's a lot to it. From I had lunch with Fred Griggs, who now is the new offensive coordinator at the Massachusetts Pirates in the IFL. He's excited to go out and be with that group, and wished him the best of luck. And Chuck Lopez, who's done a lot of the marketing and whatnot for the Gladiators over the years. And I tell you what, it's drinking from a fire hose right now, Coach. I mean, it's coming at me, and we're getting after it, though. We're getting after it. We're going to be a great product done.
Here's what I tell my players, and I try to say this as best I can to anyone who asks for the advice, is that try to give everybody an NFL experience. And what I mean by that is, you're not going to have an NFL budget, but that doesn't mean you can't act like you have. You don't want, or let me put it this way. Don't make it so it's semi-pro. Make sure every football player, every coach, every owner, every fan gets a professional football experience. And that's what I stress the most, because that's why the IFL separated itself from everybody else. Now that being said, I lost you there for a second, but that being said, I don't think you're going to have a very hard job in doing that. Not in New Mexico.
No, it's going to be fun. We've got a passionate fan
We lost
base.
your sound.
Uh-oh. Hello. Well, I didn't touch anything.
No.
Can you hear me? Nope.
Can't hear you.
Ralph?
Ralph, is there anything we can fix?
I can hear him just fine, Coach. I'm not quite.
Ralph's gone.
Coach.
Oh, Lord, help me. Give me strength.
I hate to
well,
say
you can
it,
hear
Coach,
me, though, right? Okay. So I'm going to talk about real quick until we get this figured out. When we sat down, the one thing that got my attention, the reason I wanted you to come on here, was that your passion for wanting to do it, but also your passion for wanting to do everything right. Like, I think that was a real critical part of that, is that, you're one of those guys that listens, captures the information, then asks the questions. And, I can tell you a lot of guys are going to want to go to your place and play. I think a lot of coaches are going to want to come and coach for you, because your management style was pretty evident to me early on, that what you want to produce, what you want to have happen. And that's why I said to you, I want to welcome you to come to a game this year. Bring your family, come on out. I think we're talking about the Vegas game, on the 26th, right? We're doing it all by sign language.
That's on my calendar. I think I've saw it. I think everybody else.
And have you come out. I've already talked to my owners. They're excited to have you come out, and they're going to spoil you and show you what we do and how we do it. And then maybe you and I can spend some time, and I can help you in any way I can too. So,
Coach, I appreciate that so much. I appreciate how much you have welcomed me. And
I can't hear you. I hope the fans can. The fans, if you can reply, can the fans hear everything? I got loud and clear. It's just me, Coach. Okay, good. So they can hear you. Now we lost them.
All right. Oh, I'm here.
Fans can hear you. So
okay.
We're good.
Good.
Okay. So my next question would be, Michael, what's the next step? Like, you've got the franchise. It's a little early for coaches and players and all those things. So what is your next step when you buy a football team?
I think the first step is the branding side of things. Obviously, we've got to know what we're selling, and we've got to know where we're going to sell it. The arena that we're going to play in, is critical. That's probably the number one thing, is finding out where we're going to play. And, at the same time, that branding, so that we can start going out and selling that vision to our community and to New Mexico. It, and then kind of filling in all those pieces in between. We've got to come out and, be a part of training camps. We've got to be a part of game day experiences, because we want to, like you said, we want to put forth the best fan experience we can possibly put forth. And we want to have it to be a great experience for coaches and players. That's it. It's absolutely critical that we get it right. And we can only relaunch one time, one day. And so that one day has to be spectacular.
I got none of that. I was trying to read your lips, but I'm glad the fans could hear it. And I welcome them to ask questions based on that. My next thing would be, Michael, so, and again, if you said this, I apologize. I'm trying to read the lips, but do you have it on a calendar? Like, do you have a checklist, right? Do you say by April, we want to be here. We want to start selling tickets here. We want to do our first that kind of thing. And then the other thing is, you've got to name this team, right? You've got to come up with a mascot of some sort, right? Whether it be the Gladiators or, something more New Mexico. And then you have to do all those things in between. What would you say on your calendar those things come into play?
And now, Mike, I'm not hearing you.
Huh.
There you are.
I haven't touched anything.
I
You
can't
good?
hear you either, Ralph. You guys got me blocked out. The Coaches Show, starring Mike. Yeah, there you go. I'm good with that. No, that's fine. As long as the fans can hear you, I'm good. Let me see here. Was there anything? Someone asked, is Coach Griggs back as in 2026? Just asking. I'm sure it's too early to make that decision at this point, but all in all, the fantastic step into the heart of the whole football should be about entertainment. True. That's a mantra from our owner as well. And then the question was asked, do you have a field yet? Did you purchase the field from the old team? Do you have a field now?
And something dropped again, Mike.
COVID.
And you're back.
Okay. Through COVID, there was a little bit of an issue. The city of Albuquerque had purchased a field. The previous ownership moved to the Santa Ana Star Center, which is in a bedroom community of Albuquerque. That field remains in Albuquerque. If we play in Albuquerque, we will be able to use that field. As far as the equipment goes, for player safety, equipment is rapidly changing. My vision is that we will probably start over as far as the equipment goes, and make sure that we have the safest and best equipment.
Obviously, I can't hear you, but I have a question. So, did you just give me a thumbs up?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a field, or are you going to be buying a new field? Are you going to buy a new field, or you have a field? Buy? Yes. No.
There is a field that we will be able to use.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm going to try something. Ralph, can you come on real quick, please?
Yes. You can't, and he can't, Coach can't hear me.
It's not.
Can
you see Ralph? No, not yet. I think it's a lot to do with this weather. You can hear him, but you can't see him. Okay.
And
So,
Mike, it
I wanna
does sound
give
like
this
you
a
cut out
shot.
again.
Ralph, if you can take over with Michael, I'm going to get out of the show and I'm going to try to come
Okay.
back in and hopefully it'll reboot. Okay.
This
So
will be
give me
fun.
5 seconds, guys, and I'll be right back.
All right, Mike, now that I've got you on with Mike Fietz here, tell us about your background, because one doesn't just decide to buy a football team. Business background, because this is a business. Where are you coming from? Tell us about that, because I'm not sure everyone has looked up the story and knows the story.
Sure, you bet. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Barely. Okay.
There you are. That's better.
Okay. So I'm a proud Texas Tech Red Raider.
Can't hear you.
Uh-oh. I'm a proud Texas Tech Red Raider, and
It's got to be a technical error on our part. I don't know what else to tell you. I can't get Ralph on. Is Ralph saying anything to us?
Oh yeah,
that he's working on
Yeah.
something,
Uh,
or no?
I hate to say it, Coach, but I'm pretty sure the audio issue.
Gina
is
just came on and said Mike's the best guy. Isn't that nice? That's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Gina. We
Thank
love
you very much, Gina.
I know. Ralph, you know I'm gonna strangle you after the show, right? I'm just saying.
It's
So
on
when you guys want to
your
know where his body
end.
is, just call me.
Yeah, I keep texting Coach in line, and so yeah, okay, so that's a good thing. We have a lot of Red Raider fans in town, and so forth. Yeah. So tell us tell us a bit about more about that.
Yeah, no. So I was in the banking business for a long time, and then left about right after the crash. Financing on that side was awful, and I jumped into the real estate market at the either the worst or the best time. I don't know what you gotta pick. That was a tough thing to do, but we started another home building company, and then I left, went out on my own, started a separate home building company, Westway Homes, in 2018, and partnered with Bob on some projects before. Bob Petrie, my partner in the Gladiators, and that's kind of how Gina and my paths crossed, which was which was great. And she got me hooked, became a fan, started sponsoring the Gladiators, and obviously there's some some changes in Gina's life, and honored to have the opportunity to carry the the tradition and the history of the IFL team here forward. And it is it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, we all things are on the table for the next 30 to 45 days. We've just got to figure it out. And I'm just really excited to have the opportunity. And like I said, it's been fast and furious as I sat next to Coach at the league meetings. It was kind of funny. People asked my opinion. I said, well, you know what? My opinion doesn't really matter. I've been in this thing for 5 days. And so
don't go anywhere, guys.
Yep. But no, it's became a fan, and now I get the opportunity to carry on the tradition and the history of a team that's been playing for a long time. And this is I've learned quickly, this is not for the faint of heart. And
No.
it's difficult, but it is it's really exciting to be able to come into this sport, this hobby. And it's the most fun I've ever had. I've been involved in the New Mexico Bowl on the board of directors. I've been president of the University of Mexico Lobo Club, and very involved with the football program here. But this is a little different now, and it's exciting.
And
Well,
Gina
I fixed my issue.
Yes.
So you know.
Good. It's not my issue.
Oh,
You're
wait,
not
Coach.
strangling me. You can strangle
No, it was
somebody
your
else.
issue. It was your
Coach has
issue.
issues.
How?
Coach has issues. I've already got that.
You're sitting next to him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was.
All right. So I didn't get what you guys had said. There was a couple comments though that I wanted to follow up on that I didn't get the answer to, just so I know where you're at. So your timetable again was what that you had scheduled?
We've got about 45 days that we've got to, figure out what that brand is, what that where we're going to play, and then it's trying to put it all back together. And I say back together, to be able to move forward.
Right. No, I got you. Because you're going to want to do some things differently, and some things you're going to want to emulate. It's just you take the best of the best parts of things, right?
You don't fix the things that aren't broken.
Right.
And there's a lot of really good things about what we're inheriting, and then it's how do we take it to the next level? And I think that's a great thing about for the IFL. The IFL is trying to take things to a next level. I mean, the partnership with and I will say, and thanks Dustin for making that comment. It was unbelievable how welcomed I was into the club, if you will, and it was really special. And there wasn't one person that didn't say, "Hey, whatever you need." Dustin is one big family, and ultimately the sport of indoor football is it's incredible, and it's our job as a league to continue to promote and expand the attendance and viewership, and it really does. We talked a lot about it being an opportunity league. A lot of young men who have the opportunity to, one, get to continue playing the sport that they love, and two, being able to showcase their talents to hopefully move on to the next level, as a lot of guys have. One of the really cool things is there was actually an article in GQ magazine years ago. I
read the article that you gave me.
I sent it to you, Coach.
Yeah.
And a good buddy of mine by the name of Anthony Armstrong ended up spending 4 years in the league as a receiver. Finished his time at the Cowboys, but played for, at that time, the Redskins. But got on the practice squad with the Dolphins, and to start his career in the ultimate league that everybody wants to hopefully be at. And Cavante Turpin, who's obviously the top returner in the league right now. He started in this league, and that's really special. And those are the stories that hopefully I get to be a part of now. But sorry, I digressed a little bit. But no, I want to get out and see how everybody else does things, and figure out, as we talked about, what that standard should be, and to continue to promote that standard with the IFL. The partnership with Adidas, that's big time. And that it's really special. And I think there are a lot more partnerships that are coming. And I know that, obviously, as you kind of alluded to, not sure what you can talk about, what you can't talk about, but right. But there's some new markets that I know that the IFL will be expanding into. Bottom line is I think that number, that 2014 number, we're going to get to that. And, when you look at the markets that the IFL is in, nearly, I don't know, what is 2/3 of the markets are NFL markets. And right. That's incredible. And right. have that support. I mean, and if it's not an NFL market, it's an XFL, UFL market, as you guys are in, Coach, and with the Brahmas. And that's, the bottom line is folks love football in this country. I mean, that is a sport that is special to this country. And heck, who knows? Maybe we go north across the border or south across the border. We'll just leave it at that. We'll see.
Yeah.
You never know, Coach.
You never know. Well, no, that's awesome. I'll just give you one little professional piece of advice from an old dog. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In the next 45 days, when you get ready to launch that name, you make sure your merchandise room is full.
You got
Because
it.
I'll tell you what, you will sell $100,000 in t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies and everything else the day you announce.
Well, Coach, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you a free one, and you're just going to have to take a picture of it. I know you can't wear it at games, but
I'll
I'm
wear it.
going to have a picture on my mantle of Coach in whatever gear that New Mexico gear is.
There you go. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. Well, great. I mean, if you were to say anything, and I don't know, I apologize. I don't know what Ralph had asked you. So if I'm being redundant, fans, I apologize. But is there anything you'd like to say before you go to the fans of not only New Mexico, but also the fans of the IFL? And we have a very broad audience, as you can tell. We got people from Arizona, New York, Michigan, everywhere. So is there anything you'd like to say before you go?
Again, I'm honored to be a part of the league. I'm excited to compete at the highest level. And I know that when we come back, we're going to put on a product that our community, our state, our league is proud of, and I'm excited to get after it.
Well, I'm confident you'll do all those things. And thanks for taking the time and letting everyone get to meet you. And we're going to have you back on when my audio is perfect and we get everything rolling. I'll be back in town in February, the 1st of February, and we'll get you back on before the season and talk some more and see where you're at. Maybe you can let our fans know, give a hint of the new name and all that good stuff. So thanks again, Michael. And you better come. You coming to Texas too, little man?
So, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Can't wait to have you. And
Thanks.
I look forward to seeing you, Michael, and we'll talk soon, I'm sure. Thanks
Coach,
again.
pleasure getting to know you. Thank you. All right. Have a great night.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
This has been Mike Fietz, the owner of the Duke City Gladiator. He liked the team so much, he liked the product so much, he bought the team, to quote another former owner of a franchise. And it was so important, we named the episode after him, New Mexico True. We'll be back with...
No, hold on. I've got one thing I want to address. There's a fan, what's his name? Tish? I'm sorry, I don't have my comments up right
Chris
now.
Weiss. Yeah.
Chris Weiss. He made a comment about our defense when my audio went out. Chris, what do you do for a living? Can you answer me real quick, Chris, if you're listening?
Well, I'm sure he will answer in just a moment.
Okay. Well, because I'm going to make this proposal to Chris. I'm going to propose that we're going to have a top tier defense next year. And if we don't, fire me. And if we do, he's got to quit his job and shut his mouth. Okay, let's go to halftime.
All right, we'll be back with more of Branded, sponsored by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, a tradition of excellence and a legacy of caring. Branded will be right back.
We all need hot water. Some of us need more than others. So it's a good thing that State has a wide range of tough commercial-grade water heaters for your home. From standard models to high-efficiency and tankless models, we've got you covered, no matter where you live, what you do, or who started it. To install a State water heater in your home,
Call John Wayne today or visit us at johnwayne.com.
Welcome to the Tigers!
Must be that time of the year again, where we work hard and we play hard and eat good pizza.
Hey gunslingers, come try Matanga's, voted best pizza in San Antonio. We are family and deeply invested in our community. After this game, come find a Matanga's near you. Guns up, slices up.
Welcome to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center. Step into our operating rooms, where highly skilled surgeons work hand in hand with specialized technicians. Our dedicated team has extensive experience and expertise in spine and surgical procedures. Our commitment to patient safety is unwavering. We understand that your well-being is at the heart of everything we do. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where expertise, longevity, and state-of-the-art technology come together for your health.
And welcome back to Branded as we get set to start our third quarter and bring to the stage Ryan Trevithick. I'm real excited to bring Ryan on board because Ryan represents the future of football in the IFL. I'll let Coach take it away from here.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Ryan, for coming on. Appreciate you. To let everyone know what Ryan does is Ryan is a co-owner and the vice president of a company called Snipback. And is it Snipback AI? Is that the full name?
Snipback. Yeah, Snipback AI. Yep.
Yeah. And so basically, your company is taking the place this year of a service we use as coaches. The fans don't necessarily see it, but it's how we get our data information live during the game. And when we have a challenge, we're looking at our iPads, and when we're after post game, when we're breaking down the film, and pre-game, when we're scouting an opponent, all the data and film capture we get come from last year came from VidSwap, and this year coming through your organization, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So why don't you tell everybody what exactly it is you provide and what differentiates you from FinSwap?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having us on the show. Really excited about the partnership with the IFL this season. One of the things that we bring to the table is a little bit more of an efficient product when it comes to helping coaches break down those data points live in game. So what we bring is a capturing element to be able to film multiple camera angles, to be able to provide the coaches multiple different viewpoints, both tactically and technically, for coaches to be able to break down that film and get that information to players quickly. One of the other things that we bring is the utilization of stats and analytics in game. And so one of the things that we do, we actually are providing live stats to the coaches, to the broadcast and production teams, to be able to offer a little bit higher, a little bit richer, more full experience, not just for the fan experience as well, but also for coaches who use analytics to make decisions throughout the course of their contests. And then, for us, what really separates us is the ability to, all of our cameras have the ability to both be AI tracking as well as remote piloting. So one of the things that we offer is, instead of just setting up a static camera, our cameras are actually manned remotely and can give a higher quality video. So a little bit more, higher resolution film for the coaches to be able to break it down. And then at the end of the day, when coaches are really trying to break down their film, one of the things that we offer that a lot of coaches are doing, but they haven't found a way to do it electronically and tie it directly to their film yet, is live charting. And what that means to the fans is that, when a team is out there on offenses, they're looking at what kind of defenses they're facing, what time base fronts they're looking at, what kind of protections they need to be able to call to counter something that a team is doing. We actually allow coaches to live chart that information. So at halftime, they can go in and review every clip or every play that they want to go against and say, I want to see, when we face this kind of cover 2 defense, or we face this kind of press coverage, how can we attack it better? And then we can quickly get that information to the ones that are performing on the field and the athletes. And as coaches, the one thing that I've been doing as a coach and talking to coaches like yourself and meeting with you on these calls is, how can we make this product more efficient and better for you guys as coaches to elevate the play of your athletes? And that's something I think that we really do bring to the table, and we're really excited about, being, the new partner for IFL.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons I love the IFL the way I do, is because they're constantly looking for innovation and improvement, not just to innovate for the sake of innovating, but to innovate to make our game better and to make the experience better, not only for the fans, but for the players and the coaches in our preparation, and that's a huge part of what we do as coaches. And, I, it's funny because just telling the fans here is that when I started, I told you this story. When I started, Ryan, I started with 8mm film, and we were cutting it with a pair of scissors and a Scotch tape and running the film to the developer and having to wait for it, and then running it back and breaking it down and putting it in garbage cans, hanging them from the ceiling. We were just doing all that. And then we went to beta, then we went to video, another video system. And then, we got into the huddles and the vid swaps. And now we're into your company, Snipback, which is kind of crazy. This is like my 5th or 6th time having to learn a new system. So Ryan was good enough to spend 2 hours with me at a Starbucks. What people don't know is we live about 10 minutes from each other, which was crazy. And so he sat down patiently and taught me the first grade version of it. And I've been practicing. I told him, and I'm going to try to get as good as I can before the season starts. But there's so much talk now about AI and what it can do in whether it's the film, in actually capturing the film with the camera and or processing data and doing things like that. Why is it so important to your company that you actually include it in the title of your company?
I think a lot of it is just because we first talked about was just innovation. We know that the world of sports is heading towards artificial intelligence when it comes to decision making. It's just being able to gather enough information. You see it now all the time on television right now during the playoffs. Obviously, being here in Detroit, the Lions. Dan Campbell goes for goes for it on 4th down more than any coach in the league, and it always pops up on the screen. Analytics say do this. Well, somebody's not back there crunching the numbers and saying, "Hey, we need to do it." It's a system that basically takes those data points and spits out through a computer software system the information to get you a decision quicker. But at the end of the day, we don't want to replace coaches. That's the one thing that I think is a big part of our messaging, is that we want to help coaches be the best version of themselves. There's still a gut feeling as a coach on how the flow of the game is going, how the rhythm of the game is going. What we want to be able to do is give you the best information so you can make that call. And so the AI is important to us because that's just the nature of where the games are going in sports, not just football, but athletics as a whole.
No, I mean, 100%. 100%. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just agreeing with you. Is that, I have this nightmarish vision that, I'll probably be in the ground by then. I hope I will be, when, you'll have an AI computer sitting on the sidelines calling the plays, but there comes to a point. You brought up a great point. You can't take out the human factor in any of this, because a lot of, and more so a head coach, I think, than a position coach, but a head coach, you're dealing with 25 personalities on our roster, plus you're dealing with your coaching staff, your operation people, your trainers. You don't know if they got in an argument with their wife right before practice. You don't know if one day you're going to be praying with the kid in your office, or you're going to be, finding the kid for coming late, or a kid rolls his ankle and he's not trying to miss, but he's not up to par. A computer can't tell you that stuff, and that's the one thing, the human factor, that you really do. And I kind of made a jab at a guy about our defense last year, but you can call the right plays, and you really can. You can call right plays, and then a guy maybe misses a tackle. A guy, gets a brain fart and forgets a coverage. During the game, you can't. You don't have the luxury with the 25-man roster saying, okay, get out and this next guy come in. You're only dressing 21 for a game. But where you come in handy And where your information is so critical is the day after the game, because now we can literally say that when we were in, let's say, cover 2, or when we were in man, that our boundary corner, only was successful 37% of the time, or we can break it down where the free safety had a great game and he was, in the 90 percentile, and just by doing that and then taking those clips and saving them, so you can not only show the player, you can show the whole team, the good and the bad. So I don't have to sit there and, if we made a great tackle on 1st and 10, I don't necessarily have to spend 10 minutes showing how we made a great tackle on 1st and 10. But if we had a blunder on 1st and 10 and we gave up another first down, a big yardage play, I can save that clip. We can break that clip down, show it in the team room, and then everyone can fix what we have without watching 4 hours of film. I can watch 25 clips, 10 clips, and you don't call them clips. What do we call them?
We call them snips. Yeah.
Snips, right. So I can save 10, 15 snips in a defensive back meeting and go over those and fix the problem in a quicker, more efficient manner, which is huge because last year we played like 3 games in 11 days, 9 and 11 days, something like that. And when you have to get your scouting reports ready, this is going to be critical. And then saving this data storage. So if we play Arizona at the beginning of the year and we play them at the end of the year, play Vegas one time, then we play Vegas again, taking that data and be able to convert it over quickly to the next time you play them. So the library is going to be fantastic on this, when you store your information.
And that's, I think, one of the things that as coaches, I think most of the coaches that we've been meeting with have appreciated is that we do have like an unlimited storage cache where you can just put as much practice film as you want. You can put as much workout film as you need. And for the guys that are trying to, Mike alluded to it in the previous, in the second quarter, he alluded to trying to help these guys, these young men get to that next step in their progression in their career and find that next step. This is allowing them to put, film out there, put tape out there for guys to be able to be evaluated and take with them, to their next, step of their journey as well. When we met with, the commissioner of the IFL, one of the things that he just was overwhelmed, we took away from is that he 100% was just trying to make sure that the IFL is elevating the level of play of, not just the teams and the athletes, but the level of play in the market, to make sure that, not athletes and coaches alone are having a good experience, but also fans. And, the fans, this is professional football, so the fans are passionate. They love their teams. They love their communities and they want to feel like they're a part of that. And that's why they come to the games and they get loud and create home field advantages. They want to know that their athletes and their coaches are doing as much as they possibly can on the back end to give them that best opportunity. And, that's just the greatest thing about sports is it's always bigger than the name on the front, or the name on the back. It always represents the front more. And, we're excited to be a small piece to that. We're a tool that allows coaches to make decisions and help train their guys. But at the end of the day, it's really exciting to be able to see what the IFL will do with our product because we got a bunch of professional coaches and professional people that are taking their data and implementing it into gameplay. So I'm excited to see what comes out of it for the next couple of years.
We're going to know pretty quick because we're one of your first games. Right, March 22nd, and that's going to be exciting. And I'm sure we're going to have a couple kinks, but hopefully we'll have them 99% worked out before the game, and go from there. But yeah, we're just as a coaching group, we're very excited. I know the head coaches are. I'm going to be adding all my assistants to the system tomorrow. Which is exciting, and you just sent me a tutorial for them, and the support's been fantastic, and we really appreciate it. I'm a analog guy living in a digital world. What can I tell you?
That's all right. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support because you had asked what's the difference between us and our competition is we're very much a customer centric approach, and we're going to make sure that we offer the highest level of support. So on game days when things don't break, because it is technology. I mean, I'm not to be self-proclaimed tech savvy. That's not really my MO, but we've been able to make it a simple system to where anybody can use it. And hopefully on game day, things go as well as we expect it to go. But if it doesn't, at least you'll have somebody on the other end of the line that's going to pick the phone up,
Yeah.
and you're going to be able to
Well,
talk through it with them.
I'm very fortunate. I've got a couple young bucks around me and the coaching staff that are savvy at this stuff, and they're gonna take a big part of it. I'm learning it. I'm real comfortable with it right now. Comfortable enough to start doing some things with it, and I'm sure in the next 2 months I'll get better at it and ready to roll. But we really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you'd like to say to our fans before you go?
Nothing other than I'm excited to be able to see some of the venues this upcoming season, and get some feedback from those that are in the stadiums, and just to kind of get to see what the live stats is going to do for you guys as a whole. So I'm really excited to see what the IFL is bringing to the table. I know there's some wrinkles in there that you guys are going to unleash here in a few weeks, and I'm excited for everybody to hear about them.
Yeah, believe me, I'm dying to tell everybody, but I can't. I don't want to get.
It's all good. Yep.
Yeah, no, all good. But thanks again, Ryan, and really appreciate the time you spent with me, the time you spent with the league, the time you're going to spend with my coaches. Just very grateful for everything, and I'm looking forward to a long and mutually beneficial relationship with you guys.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, Coach, and appreciate you having us tonight.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Bye now.
And Ryan Trevithick with Snipback AI, the next evolution, if not revolution, in coaching and video software for sports. This is going to be real exciting, Coach, because I think the coaches that best learn how to utilize this are going to have a competitive coaching advantage, not only on the sideline, but the rest of the time.
I mean, I'll tell you, there's computer coaches and there's football field coaches, and I don't think just being good at one or the other is enough anymore. I think you got to be pretty good at both of them, right? You can't just be a computer guy and think that qualifies you to be a head coach, and you can't just be a head coach and don't think that you can't learn and keep up with innovation. I think it's a marriage that has got to be simpatico. So.
And you've been through all of this. I mean, back in the days where there were programming tendencies and reporting plays and putting it in a TRS-80 computer to say with a 35% confidence that the opponent is going to run this play in the next time. Well, then everybody got the TRS-80s out there. Everybody did their own analytics and decided whatever the computer says, we're going to do the freaking opposite of it because if everyone's following the computer.
Think about this though for a second. The Belichicks, the Sabins, the Pete Carrolls, the Chuck Knowles, the Tom Landrys, the legends of our game, the Vince Lombardis. They didn't have this shit.
No.
Okay. But they put the same effort into it that they put into this in just a different way, right? It's not just having the ability to gather information, it's the ability to utilize the information
right
on a person by person, player by player basis, because you're going to have some kids that will get immersed in film study and will do that, and then you'll have other kids that will only watch film when you're watching it with them. You can kid yourself and say, no, they go back and they watch film and they do this. Now, 90% of them do, but maybe 10% of them that just happen to be superstars don't. Okay. And so you have to teach them in that 2-hour meeting post practice all the stuff that you want to get to them. So that's where the coaching part of it comes in and translating the information that you want to put up. And I'm a big fan of not showing highlight reels. I don't need to see you making a great play. I need to see you when you don't make a great play. So how can we fix that? That's what I'm more interested in. right? And that goes to, you know, we have a 1 week training camp. The first week is making the team. The second week is preparing for our first game. Nobody in the IFL gets good till after about the third or fourth game, like where you're your team, right? Now, everyone wants to come out like gangbusters. Everyone wants to do all the right things. Everyone wants to do all that stuff. And believe me, I'm top of that list wanting to do that. But you also have to be realistic in the fact that we have a 1 week training camp. In the NFL, I had a 6-8 week training camp. You know, we bring in specialists 8 weeks out. We all reported 6 weeks before. We had 4 preseason games. We had this, we had that. And things are just, you know, when you condense it down the way we've condensed it down, I just want our fans to understand the product. You know, you got guys that just met each other 7-10 days ago, 14 days ago, and now they're playing professional football together. And because of our veteran rule and because of the way we recruit, you have some kids that never played indoor football before. So this stuff becomes super valuable in shortening the learning curve, because now I can condense a package for linebackers so they don't have to sit there and watch, you know, they don't have to watch the DB, or they don't have to watch an offensive lineman watching the whole film or doing this. They can watch the 20 plays a night that we give them, the 10 plays a night we give them to watch, and in scouting and everything else. So every time a team comes out and they're in trips or 2x2, empty, or if they've got almost like a full house backfield, you know, we can break that down into clips. So they can have those, and we could last year, but this year, in doing it the way we're doing it, it's so much easier. And it's so much easier for the players to do on their own too. So they can create their own library, which is great. So Coach Fuller can have his own library. On offense, I can have my own library. On defense, we can do all those things. Did we ever get a response back?
From Krish?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What did he say?
He fully admits that, you know, it's fair that things are going to get better. The defense is definitely getting better based on the moves, and he can't quit his job because he's a full-time student.
Okay, you got to drop out of school. Well, see, that's my point, though. I'm going to come to one of his classes and just heckle him. No, I'm just kidding.
You need.
Listen, I love
long-term big fan.
Listen, I know that, and I love the banter. But when you criticize a part of the team, you really criticize the whole team. You criticize the coaches. You criticize the ownership. You criticize the other fans that may not feel the same way you do. If you're a true fan, we already understand that. That's why I'm taking over 100% on that role with the defense this year. And I don't care who likes it, coaches, players, or not. Okay. And it's going to be done my way. And I can tell you that this was the first year as a professional head coach I did not make the playoffs, and it ain't happening again. Period. And I don't care who hears that. So, yeah, we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. And there's some great teams out there this year. So it's going to be great. And we got great officiating this year.
Do we want to talk about that?
Improvement. Oh, that was the biggest.
In the fourth quarter?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we can do that. Get people out of here. We're running along.
We're breaking out of here, but we've got a great audience. People keep joining throughout it. Let's not lose the momentum and head into the fourth quarter. You're watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital.
Quality. Here at John Wayne, it's not just a word, it's our foundation. From the people we employ, to the service that's provided, to the equipment that we design and install, quality matters. For nearly 20 years, providing quality Texas comfort to the San Antonio area communities has been our highest priority. For quality you can count on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Hey, what can I say? Comes with the job. 1 minute I'm making a one-hand catch on the sideline. Next minute it's lights out and I'm on the sideline. And that's why I like Complete Care, because they're fast, just like me. They have ultrasound, CAT scan, X-ray, and even on-site lab. So if you get sidelined, know where to go. Complete Care. Official sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
And welcome back to Branded for the start of the fourth quarter. Last week, we were talking about the 6 new rule changes when it came to officiating. And now we wanted to talk about the new officiating when Coach returns here in just a moment. He dropped off. Hopefully he'll tell me what those issues were as he is back on the stage. And Coach, we were going to talk about what we hope to be arrangements for better officiating here this season.
Well,
before we left the third quarter.
Yeah, I was going through chat actually, and I was looking at some of the things that were said. And yes, head coach, GM, and defense coordinator this year, to answer one person's question. The second part of it was when we talked about officiating, someone said good officiating, one of those. One of the things I did from the end of last season until the championship game was I was very vocal as to how unsatisfied we were with the caliber of officiating we got. That was reinforced at the owners' meetings in Vegas. I took part in that, and I also restated it then. And then the ownership group around the entire league recognized the fact that we were not getting the officiating that was up to the level of Major League Football. So our white hat is actually flying in for our games, and he's the same official who did the championship game. So we have the absolute best officiating white hat in the league, I think. And no matter who's around him, he will make them better. And he has no problem overriding calls. He has no problem instructing officials on proper rules and when they should pick up a flag.
Don't have to.
Yes.
And
when they should pick up a flag and so on. So our officiating is better. That's going to be less and less of an excuse. Okay. It was a merited excuse last year. That was horrific. Okay. I don't care. Find me. That was horrific. Okay. And we got better. The commissioner recognized it. The other owners recognized it. And I can't thank them enough. I can't thank our ownership enough. But believe me, guys, I've been around this game a long time, and I know when you lose a game because you just didn't play good enough, and I know when you lost a game because someone took it away from you. And for those of you that are not Kansas City Chiefs, I'm sure you can relate. I mean, some of that stuff's ridiculous, right? I mean, but that's what we dealt with on a regular basis, that same kind of nonsense. So Yeah, it's going to get better. And look, I'm not trying to. Um, I got great coaches. I've got great coaches, but one, this is my job. I was hired to win football games here, and I was hired to bring a championship to San Antonio. And if you're going to challenge me to do those things, then I'm going to take control of the things I need to fix myself. And that way, when you got something to say on the show, bad about it or good about it, you can say it to me. And my coaches will be able to coach, and I'll take that. I got big shoulders. You go ahead and give me whatever you got, because I think you're going to be very happy, because every championship I won was defense based, and I was always defense coordinator. So in some aspect, either co or complete. So we're going to give them hell this year, and that kind of leads us into the last part of this, Ralph, and then we'll let these fine people go for the night. We've started our meetings. We're having our first official Zoom team meeting on Monday. And then next week we have, and I got to put that schedule out tomorrow, but we're going to have like offensive lineman meetings, defensive line meetings, linebacker meetings, DB meetings, and that'll carry from, I usually do that about 60 days out. So that'll carry from now until about the week before camp. We'll have meetings weekly on Zoom. We cannot do anything on the field until March 8th. So everyone, I want you to think about this for a second, okay? We got 40 guys coming into camp. Right now we're at 39. We'll have 40. So we have 40 guys coming into camp. On March 6th, they will check into the hotel. It's a pretty light day. They check in the hotel, they get to meet some of their teammates, and then we have a dinner. It's kind of a annual thing. We have a dinner at the Reckler Ranch, and we meet everybody. I talk to them. We share, stuff. I hand them their playbooks. We talk about our mantra, God, family, football. We talk about our patriotism. Don and James will speak. We'll do all the things that, you do on a cocktail party kind of thing, but barbecue. Then on the next morning, we have physicals and equipment. So they'll come out to the facility, many of them for the first time. They'll take their physicals. We have doctors there, training staff there, equipment people are there. So once they get done with their physicals, they fill out all their paperwork. Then we take them and we give them their locker assignment. It's kind of a big deal, your first pro experience. And for the veterans, it's a great way of coming back and seeing some of the faces and doing that kind of thing. And then the next morning is the first official day we're allowed to practice. So that'll be March 8th. So from March 8th to March 15th, that's Saturday to Saturday, okay, is 7 days they have to make the team. So you get a star who sprains his ankle on Tuesday, he might get cut. Right? You get a guy who comes in and really doesn't learn the system until Thursday, he might get cut. So you have to make that evaluation in those 7 days. Once you complete that 7-day period, then we have a welcome to the team. It's usually on the 15th. The 15th we'll hold a practice. The guys will come to the stadium, and 15 of them will be going home. I want you to think about that. They got 7 days, and then 15 of them got to go home. Now, once they go, we have our team, our 25. And we'll have meetings, practice, and then we'll have a welcome to the team dinner back at the Reckler Ranch. I think the meal gets a little bit better if you made the team, kind of thing. And then the following day, we start preparation for Tulsa. So we only have 7 days to get ready for Tulsa with the team that you're going to go to war with. So I want you to think about that. You only have 7 days. So then you get your 7 days and we play Tulsa. And then after Tulsa, you got to figure out, holy cow, did I make the right decision? Did I keep the right guys? Didn't I keep the right guys? The guys I cut got picked up by somebody else. Now I got to find someone else. We had an injury and all that. And then you only have 7 days to do all that. So that's a big part of my job. You know, I always ask opinions and do all that, but every contract that was written on this football team, I wrote. And every transaction, because this was asked earlier, how do you file them? So I get a player, I talk to him. We usually spend about a half hour, 45 minutes together on the phone. I ask him questions. I'm not going to get into what I ask him because some are personal and lots are professional. And then after that, I do my vetting. So then I call his old coach. I call this guy. I call an old teammate, or I call an old coach that I knew he used to have in college or, you know, whenever. Then we do a little bit. We check his social media. You know, what kind of social media does he have up there? Does he have social media that's frankly obscene? Does he have, you know, is it family based? Is it, you know, uplifting? Is it articulate? Is it, you know, all those things? And then I'll make the decision whether or not to sign the kid. Once we do that, I call him back up. He sends me a picture of his driver's license, his email. I have everything else. I've got all his other data. And then I'll turn around and I'll produce a contract for him electronically. And then I'll send it to him electronically. He will sign it electronically and then return it to me. And then once he returns it to me, I take that contract along with a picture of his ID and I forward it to the league. And once I do that, he's official. As part of that, depending on how many guys I sign that day, 1 or 20 or 5 or 3, I have to do a transaction report that lists each player, position, height, weight, you know, all the things that go with it, years of experience, that kind of thing, how he qualifies as, you know, experience level. Is he a first-year guy? Is he a vet? And then I have to submit that to the league as well. So a big part of my job is doing that in the off season is the paperwork. But during the season, as we sign players, it's doing that and doing transaction reports. And a typical transaction report can have anything from retired to suspended, failure to report to camp, advancing to another league. It could, you know, so there's a lot of things. Then if you have a trade, then there's trade paperwork that you have to do. So yeah, it keeps you busy. You know, I don't sleep a lot when it comes to that stuff, but I like knowing that it's done right and get it in. And Todd did a really good job when I came into this league and training me. And as far as I knew how to do it all, but just not how they did it here. And he made the transition pretty smooth. And I get a lot of younger coaches call me up, asking me questions, and now I help them. So it's a good thing.
So now you know how that works. I didn't know any of that, but we just see the transaction report on the website and go, there it is. Now we know how that comes about.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Our good friend in Houston, Mark Yamaguchi, asking about AI versus gut feelings and logic, who wins? This was during the questioning about how useful AI could be in assisting coaches in making decisions.
Listen, I think AI, for those of you that have been watching any of the Trump press conferences, he announced the new AI company, $500 billion investment in the United States, and it's going to cure diseases, and I believe that. They said it's going to come at a historic pace. Heart disease getting cured, cancer getting cured, um, you know, different diseases getting cured. Like this COVID thing could have probably had, a shorter lifespan. All those things. So I'm not going to say it's not invaluable in the way of helping. But like I said, I can't tell you a day that went by that I didn't have to deal with multiple issues that involve the emotion of a player. I prayed with them in my office together. I've cried with them when they've lost a loved one. I've um, babied some when they got hurt, and I kicked some in the ass when they acted like they were hurt. And um, it's just a part of the human factor in coaching. I don't think you can take that away any more than you could take away a good family doctor. You may get the information, but it's got to get passed through in a way to make it work. So
All right.
I think they can live together, and I'll use one of my favorite phrases, as long as everyone stays in their own lane.
I would think that AI will be helpful in the ways that they were talking about medically and coaching, pretty much the same way. They have an opportunity to uncover insights, things that may have been overlooked. But I think more often than not, coach, they are going to reinforce the gut feeling and logic of an executive because they have all that information. We were talking about COVID, and what he was said in that press conference was, instead of a general all humankind, we're going to produce an RNA vaccine for. Well, this allows an analysis of the individual versus all the data out there, the summary of all the knowledge being applied towards that individual to produce an individualized solution that could be synthesized and delivered. That kind of power applied in coaching might reveal trends, but more importantly, it allows you, coach, to put metrics in that AI will flag, saying, okay, I want to be noticing for this. It will flag those things for you, and there are the SNPs to support it. And that's
Yeah, I
what this
mean,
is going to do.
yeah, it is definitely a want, right? I want you to do it this way. I want you, if you guys get a chance, go on my Facebook page, and I posted something of a run from a Notre Dame running back, and they put it to music, and they ran it in slow motion. And it may be one of the most beautiful football plays I've ever seen in my life. In my 55 some odd years of, no, more than that, in my 60 years of football playing and coaching, it may be the most beautiful play I've ever seen in my life. And it's not sexy. It's not a one-handed catch. It's not a this. It's a kid who got hit probably 8 times, and there's no way he should be standing.
And yet,
and yet he scored a touchdown. And there's no frigging computer in the world that could analyze that play and say, this is how he scored, because any analytic would have told you he should have got tackled 8 yards out, right?
So three guys on him. And
now in that same breath, okay, I'm thinking back last year on our defense. And in the same breath, I have a kid who is an incredible athlete. And he's, he has the ability he has like almost a 40-inch vertical jump. And he has the ability to run a 4.4, 4.3. He has the ability to bench press, 350 pounds, and he's 190 pounds. And great play, crappy play, great play, crappy play. Now, you throw him away with the bathwater, and then you never get that great game, right? Or if you hang on to him, he costs you a game. And there's no computer in the world that's going to be able to break that down. There's no computer in the world that can break that down because, again, what's his body feel like? What's his personality today? What's his temperament today? You know, when I bought Coach, the vet told me something that stuck with me. And I kind of equated it to football players. He said, Coach, I just want you to tell you the dog you bought is like buying a Maserati. It's super cool, but they break down all the time and they're expensive. And I kind of thought about that like a football player to a certain degree. You get a great football player and he's super cool and he's got all the intangibles, but he's also made out of bone and skin and muscle and flesh, and he has a heart and he has a soul and he has a brain and he has a personality, and you just can't do that with guys. And then it's funny because I've been around owners and fans and, well, you should cut that guy, and I'm thinking, you don't know what you're talking about. That guy could be in the NFL right now. If we tweak this and tweak that, or that guy's great. And I'm thinking, that guy ain't great. He just don't know how to do this. So he runs around a lot, and so when you do things, you got to be careful not to get emotional with the player, but I'll also understand the emotion in football. Football is a cruel mistress, man. Let me tell you, from a coach, from a player, from an owner, it's a cruel mistress. You want her so bad, but it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost, and it's usually an emotional cost. I want my players to know that I will always treat them fairly. I will always be transparent with them. I won't lie to them. I'm not going to sit there and tell a player he's good when he's not good. I'm going to tell him the reason you're getting cut is you're not good enough. You're not getting cut because you're great. I want to tell a player that makes their football team, now the expectations start. So now you have to live up to the fact that you were given a locker. And the day you don't, I got to let you go. Because every day in professional sports is an audition. It really is, Ralph. It's an audition. And it's one of those things where you can't just have one good game. You can't just have one good day of practice during the week. You can't just have, one good training session a week. It's consistency and it's the grind and it's everything. And it's funny because as we get closer to the season, Miss Susan lightens up on me a lot. Like it goes from when I first get home, here's your to-do list, here's what things I need done, here's this, here's that. And as we get closer to the season, it starts tapering down. So when I go, she knows for the next 7 months, I'm going to work 7 days a week and I'm going to work 15 hours a day. And that takes its grind. And she wants to give me a little breather before I go, right? And it's just opposite for the players. The players have got to be getting ready so they hit peak when they get there. Now I get there almost 2 months before they do. So I'll have everything done. Playbooks will be done this week. Zoom calls Monday. Coaches meetings probably this week. Friday, I think we have one scheduled. So yeah, we got one scheduled. We got one scheduled tomorrow. So all these different components come into play, and that's the long and short of it, I guess. I hope I answered the question anyway. But just to recap before we go, Ralph, I wanted to say thanks again to Mike from New Mexico, new owner, great guy. I sat with him for almost 2 days, and we shared a lot of ideas and a lot of information together. And I think he's going to represent the IFL exceptionally well. I think he's a Don Rackler kind of guy. So I got a lot of respect for him. And then Ryan from Snipback. I'm like the guy in the short bus, and he's been helping me. So that's been great. That's been good. And I'm anxious for my coaches to get involved in that starting tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, it's been a good show. I'm sorry about the audio thing. I don't know what happened. I just went from hearing to not hearing anything.
It's never happened before.
We can't say that on our show though, because on our show,
No, on your end, it's never been on your end. It's always been on my end.
I know, but what happened with the commercials were all chopped up too.
That's
we gotta fix it. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And again, I apologize to everybody, and we really are trying to get this thing figured out. One thing I was going to bring up, the day before I come, we have a show scheduled for February 5th, remote show, and I'm going to cancel it. And I'm going to say, let's do February 6th at night. I fly in at 11. We can do a show that night somewhere. Let's do a live show.
Okay.
In town, in San Antonio.
Jen, I hope you're watching.
She'll figure it out. We get enough people want us to do a show from their place. So if not, we'll do it from the ranch. We'll figure it out.
Could very well. And we've had a really good showing inside the system here. This is a number that is currently better than what we saw for the combine.
Wow.
So this is a really strong number, and hopefully we can get that boosted. And because I think this was the IFL show tonight.
Well, I think that's kind of our responsibility, right? We're stewards of the IFL, and that I brought that up at the meeting, is that you can't just concentrate on our fan base in San Antonio. We have fans all over the country, and they could be our fans. They could be mutual team fans like Dustin. Okay. And you want to represent as much of the league as you can, especially in the off season, and gathering information. Now, next week, we're going to have players on. So we're going to have some players on next week. And then the following week, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have a couple head coaches from other teams on.
Oh, boy.
So that'd be fun. And then we'll talk about the 2025 season. And for whatever reason, we're pretty blessed. People want to come on here, and with all our little hiccups, they still want to come on. So, Mike, again, I'm sorry about the little snafu. I hope you enjoyed it. And Ryan, thanks again for coming on. And to all of you, we really appreciate you.
Fantastic. Well, that'll do it for our fourth quarter. When we come back, we will be wrapping this up. You're watching Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Be back.
Hey, San Antonio, are you tired of the same old chain pizza that tastes like cardboard? I thought we were done eating paper in school. Maybe not. It's up to you. At Matanga's, we bring you flavors that are authentically Texan. We're talking about fresh dough that we made in store every single day. We're talking about cheese that's shredded in store for that authentic cheese flavor. We're talking about brisket because this is Texas, y'all. We're talking about our Texas roll. Can't get those anywhere else. We're talking about Texas ranch because when you put jalapenos and ranch together and you dip it in with pizza, just drink it. Lastly, we got a pothole pizza because we had to name a pizza after our roads. You know what I'm talking about. Can't wait to see you soon. Find a Matanga's near you.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers and South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where precision meets performance.
This is head coach and general manager Tom Manassi, your San Antonio Gunslingers. We got 8 home games this year that are going to be pretty special. You want to make sure you're part of this. Come help us win the championship. In addition to that, we have free giveaways through the entire season, special theme nights, and all you have to do is call the number below, and we'll make sure we take real good care of you. God bless.
And this will do it for our show this week. Make sure you have liked and subscribed. Definitely need to like and subscribe, folks, to keep up to date and know who's going to be on the show and when the show is playing. Because if you want to stay up to date with the news in the IFL, Branded's one of those places you're going to be able to do that. Branded brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Coaches, good night. Up next.
Real quick, before that, I just want to say, remember when we had the commissioner on and he was talking about all the things coming up? You don't want to miss a show because they're going to start popping here soon. That's all I can say. Okay. Liliana, Mila, and Eli, it's time to go to bed. Papu loves you. Good night, everybody. God bless.
This has been Branded for January 22nd, 2025. And as always, keep your guns up. Good night, everybody.
Good night.